Edge Radio Australia. It is an absolute honour, a privilege, and quite frankly, a terrifying experience to have this man to my left. No, I want to get straight into the show before you railroad us completely through. Isn't it wonderful to have our local genius back in the studio? Of course, it's Terri Messenger, the Genius Zone in Edge Radio Australia. Lovely to see you.
And great to see you. And it's so fun to be here in the new studio.
Exactly right.
It took me so long to build all this.
Oh, yes. Where's my violin? And he's very good at taking credit for everything. I'm noticing that.
Well, I've decided that Travis should be the subject today.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a travesty.
We are going to be talking about transformation today.
I'm glad you brought that
if I can just hijack
if you could.
the sequence for a sec. And I reckon that Travis, we could ask him a lot of the questions that were around the transformation.
Are you really sure you want to do this?
I absolutely would love to do that. But maybe, I told you we needed something stronger. But look, I've just come back from Bali. And yes, I'm sorry.
And I just got back from Vietnam, so.
And you just
got
back
from Vietnam? The toilet.
Hold on. Excuse me, can I have someone come up to Edge Radio on the 8th floor and take young Travis away?
Don't know what floor we're on. There we go.
No, 10.
The studio's 10 out of 10 or 10 out of 12?
We are 10.
Here's what we're going to do here. We're going to draw it back. We're going to talk about, transformations here. You've done this wonderful thing in Bali, which is very, very cool.
Yes, thank you.
Being part of that, and I believe the people who came as your guests were rather chuffed. I've seen some stuff on social media. They're very pleased.
Yes, it was fabulous because, environment is really important.
It is.
And for example, here we are in this epic environment here at Edge Radio. It's really exciting. So, there's so much, to say about environment. And because Bali is, it's balmy, it's warm, the people are beautiful. Yeah. So there's that relaxation that happens. But, I have to say this, when we first rocked up, and I'm not going to mention any names. So I went for a birthday bash and it was amazing. However, when the next leg of the holiday came about, which was where I did the transformation, I was invited. So one of the girls had called me up and said, hey, when are you doing another, Bali transformation?
Yep.
And opportunity knocks. And so I said, as a matter of fact, I'm going to Bali. Okay. So these two ladies joined me on the second leg of the trip. And to be honest, on that second leg, when I saw one of the girls, she looked like she was going to have a freak out meltdown.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I wished I had it done before and after shots, because the before was, everybody was full of anxiety, full of apprehension. What's going to happen here? It was obviously going to be a life-changing event, but they're in a foreign country. So it could have gone any way. But this was amazing.
Doing a retreat in another country because you're so out of your safe sort of
100%.
zone?
Absolutely. I feel like that was just such a cranking question because, you are outside of your usual environment. So all of the triggers. So, people get, and this was something that I was teaching, people get spatially triggered. So do you know what a spatial trigger is,
I have
Travis?
no idea. I'm super new to all this.
Okay, so a spatial trigger.
I'm still catching up with cranking.
Yeah. Okay, so
Got me through high school.
Exactly.
No, that's my thing.
Let's just say if you have a really bad experience, okay? Yeah. So let's say you go into a bar in Perth and something terrible, shocking happens to you.
Okay.
Then what happens is if that person goes back to that same place and space, what actually happens is that they are spatially anchored. So they're triggered. So it causes a trigger. So people can be locked into their, the way they feel, their emotions and everything else, okay, in their homes, in their own homes, in their own hometown. Same old is happening. And then all of a sudden you get put into a foreign country So you are in a completely different world. You're outside of your comfort zone. And, you know, when you go to Bali, you walk through immigration, you go through the airport, and it's terrifying. It's very military when you're going through the airport. They've got straight faces, no one's smiling. They're looking at you. They're asking, you know, who you're traveling with, all the questions. They are military minded. And then when you get over onto the other side, you are in Bali, Indonesia.
I get so and that's a complete feeling of freedom once you pass through.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think I'm a little bit different because arguably one of the most strictest airports in the world is Istanbul. And then you also got Panama City where they literally patrol the airports with full riot gear, fully armed to the teeth sort of things. Like you go to the shopping centre and as you walk in, they're actually pointing full assault rifles at you.
Wow.
So like I never found airports.
Well, their new government. So they've had a changeover of government, which was something that kind of took me off guard because I hadn't been there since 23, 24. 24 to be exact. And some of the immigration laws changed and I went through all cocky. And so I feel
you got nailed because you're Aussie.
Yeah. And so I went through and I got stuck. So I held up my friends as I was stuck in customs and in immigration. And the new president, so
I always get checked. I always get checked.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well,
it says,
especially when I was with Ian.
My passport says entertainer as profession. Which just literally says could be carrying. That's pretty much
I get nailed because we used to import and export coffee.
Okay.
And so obviously the cartels used to smuggle heroin inside of caffeine, like the coffee seeds.
Now, speaking of smuggling people and smuggling things, we've actually got somebody in the studio right now behind the camera.
Someone in the building.
Yes, a bit of a spectator.
Okay, we'll come in.
He looks very professional.
Would you like to jump on the couch?
You jump on the couch, or you can jump in a seat over there, mate. You make yourself comfortable. Find a spot. All right.
And here we are doing our show. So so their government has changed in the last 2 years, and it just so happens it's more of a military style now. So
they're about two years ahead of Australia.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's probably no pun intended and none whatsoever. But so, I mean, it can be nerve-wracking, and I felt like I took a bit of a hit for the team because the first thing that I did is I went, okay, I need to warn my people who are coming over, especially one lady who hasn't really experienced that. And I mean, the Bali people, I said to my grandson before I left, I said, do you know the Balinese children are some of the happiest children in the world?
Ignorance
because
is bliss.
I just find that some of these kids that are in Australia, it's almost like the more you have, the more you've got to cry about. And I said, these kids over in Indonesia, Bali, they have absolutely nothing. And so they live together. So the custom is very different over there. So, you know, in Australia, it's usually the female. If you've got daughters, will take care of their parents. Where in Bali, it is the sons. And if they don't have a son, they are very, very
We
upset.
have a lot of katuts to look at.
We have a lot of katuts.
There's something that's so serious, Travis, now. So it's really interesting to see the difference because obviously in Australia, both parents work, kids are generally raised in a daycare like the government system, and there's so many young people with mental health issues, like really bad suicide rates in the kids under 15, stuff like that. Then you have to look at Bali where they literally have nothing. The families are forced to engage with each other. So generally both parents, or one's working, one's at home or whatnot. There's always a parent or a grandparent or an auntie and uncle, someone. There's always that adult supervision over there, but you have to look at how happy the personal lifestyle is. Without all the bells and whistles and the stresses.
So, it is so true. That all live
I have
together.
to say, I think the biggest impact to destroy the happiness within the social coercion within the house is actually government interference.
Couldn't agree more.
Look,
absolutely. And isn't it funny?
Did you like that one? I thought that was good.
The way you've done that. But I mean,
he slid that one under the.
I know.
But okay, but also in countries that
it's a slippery sucker. There's one just there, the lollipop.
I know. I've got my lollipop here.
But with Vietnam programs,
yes,
place you've spent a lot of time, right? Okay, you're
resident of Vietnam, but yes,
there you go. You're running in a communist country there.
It's not communist. It's a socialist republic, but yeah, the communists left in like the 70s.
Oh, it's still pretty communist, right?
No, socialist.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah.
socialist, right.
Oh no, there's a difference. So the Socialist Party has internal elections, so you can actually find out whether you're a right-wing party or not.
Okay.
So it changes like the elections we have in Australia. Where a communist government, they just won't have elections. They'll just tell you what to do. In government, the state owns everything. So,
But it's very military over there as well, and the government, as I said, the new government is military orientated.
is that for Bali?
It's Indonesia, right across. So basically, what you're getting is the most happiest people in the world, but there is a serious side to them,
Of course.
and it's very interesting. So getting back to the ladies that come over, I think it's a bit of a reality check because suddenly, we experienced everything.
Mm.
So I experienced my little saga going through immigration. And it's interesting when you go into kind of like a fight flight, or if you're nervous or you've got this kind of energy, you can freeze. I don't know whether you've ever experienced that. So you freeze and you literally... you can't activate because you're too busy thinking of the future. So you're going, how am I going to get through here? What am I going to do to make this work or whatever? So meanwhile, you stay stuck. And this is what happens. So what actually happened for me is that was almost like the beginning of something that could have quite easily just toppled and gone downhill very badly. But
You'd let that affect your emotions in your time?
I had a comedy of errors happen.
Okay.
So it wasn't just one thing. I couldn't find, and I mean, this is first world problems here. This is precise. But I couldn't find my driver, who I happen to know very well, and he couldn't find me.
Right.
Now, this is the energetic thing. I realised that he couldn't see me. I couldn't see him.
But
and there was a lot of people, right? So, I ended up having to go, okay, I need to change my state here. And this is precisely all about it. So I've got all these nerves. I've got a comedy of errors, one thing going after another. I suddenly realised he can't see me because I can't see him, and he can't recognise my state. So I dropped my jacket. I pulled my jacket off. I kind of like did this little dance. And
peacocked, didn't you?
I peacocked. Yeah. That was it. That's what, that's what Ian called me. He said when he first met me, he thought I was a bit of a peacock. So I literally pulled the jacket off, put on my peacock, and within 1 minute we'd found each other.
Right.
And, this is the way energy rolls. So from there on in, the whole trip was incredible. It was just fantastic. And, of course, I'd gone there to celebrate a birthday party, and that was just next level. The transformation, as I said, when both the ladies walked in, if I had have gone, that's before, and this is what they're like at the end, it was two completely different women. Okay. And it was all centered around, environment, spatial anchoring, coming out of your own environment and being able to be in a place, in a space where you can identify the poverty of the country and yet the absolute bliss and happiness. And
I want so much bliss and happiness.
And then and to boot, the Australian dollar was up. So when I'm over there, I'm usually hovering. We're usually hovering around 8 and 9%. And I'm one of these people. I will jump on a scooter and go up and down town, so I can find the highest, frequency. Well, that's been mentioned a couple of times in the past.
Why don't you just have a brokerage account? Just keep the money in the
so this is how it goes. At 12.2%, imagine this, a woman walks in, she's got $100.
Yeah.
And that $100 suddenly converts into 1.2 million rupiah.
Yeah.
So
I'm used to dealing with a Vietnamese dong, which is like 18,000 dong per dollar.
Okay.
So if you got $100, it's like 1.8 billion.
It's a lot of dollars.
So suddenly you've got all this money, And you know, there was one particular night that we'd gone into Sogo, and we'd done our transformation that day.
Yeah.
So really, it's about, okay, we hit the ground running by the first thing was, I need to get these ladies out of this state.
Okay.
So, and I'm not talking state, Victoria, WA, whatever. This is, I need to get them to become completely present. So the first thing we did was, you know, ground. So we grounded with Mother Earth. We decided to consult outside. So on the beach, near the sand. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. Teaching them, and it was really interesting to challenge them to become practitioners, to become coaches, and it was their role to get that person out of that state and change their state by simply putting the past behind them, the future in front of them, and being able to see what they see, hear what they hear, and feel what they feel. But because one particular lady was really nervous, so she was, you know, I mean, you know, she didn't know what to expect. So I got this other lady and I sort of said, okay, everything that I taught them that morning about speaking and finding out, did you know that when you ask a person, for example, a question, what is it that you truly, truly, truly desire? Did you know, and I'm saying this, and I'm sure that so many other people, even in counselling and psychology, could say this, that 90% of the people will not be able to articulate what it is on the spot that they truly want, but they'll tell you everything they don't want.
The one that you've just described.
No, but that's normal.
Yeah.
It's you. Well, what is it that you don't want? Well, what is it that you do want? Okay, so what is it that you truly desire? Well, I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to feel depressed. I'm sick of feeling tired. I said, okay, so exactly. Okay, so let me help you. Let me help you become tired, depressed, and completely overwhelmed.
So work for Ed.
Okay, so this is where the foolishness can, you know, you become playful. You'd love it. And so, you know, you sort of, hey, I didn't say that, but then you tick people off. I didn't say I wanted that. I said, well, I asked you what you wanted. I did not ask you what you didn't want. So this is actually very statistically true, that people will be able to articulate what they don't want before they'll actually be able to tell you exactly what they do want.
So that, I don't have a problem with that one.
Really?
Yes, you should know me better than that by now. If I want something, I'll openly say it. The whole, how can I word this? When you open your eyes and I'm trying to think of a polite way to describe this. When you stop being blinded by the sun and you see you in front of you and you're doing 110 and your first thought is like, oh, this is not hurt.
Yep.
You sort of like accept your current reality as this is what it is.
Exactly. So true.
A lot of people struggle with just acceptance of what's going on.
Yes.
And when it's forced on you at 110 kilometers an hour, you kind of like, all that other shit just goes away. You just don't give a rat's ass.
You know what you've just said in coaching terms, practitioner terms, it is surrendering.
Yes, you got to accept where you are.
It is leaning into the pain. So many people will, firstly, you'll ask them what they want and they'll tell you what they don't want. Travis, why are you looking at Aaron like that?
My God, you're irritating.
What the hell?
But am I not wrong?
Okay, can we? Let's
exactly.
We'll edit this part out, okay?
No, because it's all live.
I'm ringing my mum. Come and pick up Travis.
No, she just wants me for my bum.
I know. I told him when we first went to air that you did the bum dance, and that was the first time my mum ever met you. Anyway, moving right along.
I just love the way that she remembers me from my glutes more than anything else.
But moving right along, I want to catch what you said, because what you said was very true. So many people just need to accept where they're at. So if they can really just, rather than go, oh my God, I'm in this state, this is happening, blah, 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 they're running away. You got to come back to your own reality and literally say, okay, it is what it is. You know, what does this mean?
Okay.
You know, what is the
Because
higher purpose?
The way I see this, having a builder's background, you need stock take of what you actually got. If
Yeah.
you, let's say you're trying to build a house, but you've only got half the timber you need, well,
Mm.
obviously you need to get more timber. So if you have a goal in mind that you want to achieve, like for us, we want to buy 5 more properties in Australia before we start looking at expanding into either America, Japan, or I'm actually kind of thinking Panama as well. Their rental market is kind of interesting at the moment. So before we start doing that, we've got to take stock of what we have, what shares we have, what assets we have
Exactly.
coming in before we can actually make a plan. Now, on
Yes.
top of that, there's a couple of things happening with Luan that she's doing, very positive things, which is really good, which is going to accelerate our plans even further. So you have to understand where you are now before you can even make a map to where you want to be.
That's so true. I love that. And so for these women, for example, it is all of us were able to say, okay, so we've established that we know what we don't want. Okay, so what is it that, you know, you really don't want about that? And it's so many people get tricked by the why question. But if you ask a person that is talking negatively, why do you feel that way? That's going to take you down this huge rabbit hole. You're going to go down this huge rabbit hole.
But I think the question why is an important question.
No,
it's
it's the
only
most important question.
It's no, hang on a minute. It is the most important question.
Yeah.
But, and the but being a negating word, of course, which just negates everything that was just said. So the fact is that why is an important question. So I do definitely agree with that. But why is more about the why you want something, why it means so much to you to make a difference in this world with Edge Radio, why it makes such a difference to you that you would like this to have better health. But if you say, why are you feeling so badly today? That's when the rabbit hole is going to happen. And this person's going to take you down. Whereas if you test it out, and we did this over this time in Bali, where I got the 2 ladies to test it out and go, well, what is it about that, especially you don't like? And it's using that one word, what? Well, I don't like the way it does this, this, and this. And what does that mean? And what else does it mean? And believe it or not, just asking what and what does it mean and what else and then what, and no more and thens, but continuing with the what. And then, yes, go on, come on, you're busting.
It's similar, but it's slightly different as well. So all discussions have 2 sides. Right, so you've got to remember that there's always multiple ways to look at an issue. So taking your, and I have this argument with, well, it's not an argument, it's just like trying to narrow down into what the issue is really important. But I am a firm believer that the why is more important than the what, because the why explains the what.
More important.
So
yes.
So when you're sitting there asking us, what is it about this thing that you don't like? And then they have to like try and itemize a reason why they don't like it.
No, not why, what.
Yeah, that's what I said. What is it about this thing that you don't like?
Exactly.
So they've got to try and itemize it. And I find a lot of people struggle with that. And I always have, especially with the girls, I have a lot more success. Like Celeste will come up and she'll go, and she'll have a cry or something. It's like, okay, why don't you like it?
No, what is it? What is it that you don't like about it particularly?
Yeah, but then
what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So
and what does that feel like?
Yeah, so with the girls, trying to itemize something for them is really, really hard. And I don't know if this is a lady thing or not, because you got to remember, I've got the wife and the 2 daughters at home with me. Like, there's no guys. So
they need to make up for you, though, Travis.
Yeah, well, I weigh more than all of them put together. So anyway, so with the girls, they really struggle to itemize about something that they don't like. But it's easier for them to explain why they don't like it.
So what is it that you don't like about it?
After they say why they don't like something, I say, okay, what are you going to do about it to fix it?
Perfect.
And is that the core issue of it, or is that a symptom of something else? So a lot of the time,
that's a really good question.
Especially in Australia, like a lot of people, okay, so prime example is immigration at the moment. Everyone's going, immigration is a problem. Is it? Why is immigration?
What is the problem? Okay, so
Okay,
that's
so
where the
that's-
what is the
why is
problem?
is
What
is
is-
there why is there
not
a lack of
why, but
housing?
what?
No,
Why is there a lack of
so
jobs? Why is there a lack of this?
immigration is a symptom of a much greater problem,
I
and
agree.
that's where they're losing it, and they're constantly dealing with the symptom and the
Yeah,
outcome of
Mm.
another
But that's
issue.
how government
So
works,
just
right?
wait.
It's all about band-aids.
So what's the actual real issue? Why is immigration a problem? What is causing immigration to be a
Exactly.
problem?
But see what?
No, it's not.
Absolutely.
So why is there so much supply? Sorry, why is there so much demand and not enough supply?
Well, because
What
we
is
have-
causing that issue?
Because we have too many people for the spaces we
And-
have allowed.
But you
What
see how
is
this
allowing-
is provoking a
So
conversation
you're
right
stopping
here.
at the symptom.
Yeah.
You're
No,
not
no,
going
no,
to
I'm
the
not. I'm
yes, you
not.
are,
No, I'm
because
not.
it's poor government
Okay, what
and poor
exactly is
management.
the big
Yes,
problem
correct.
here?
That
guys?
is the problem, not immigration. Immigration is a result of poor governance.
Okay, but you can
So
take
so
away
many-
you can take away one of the symptoms, right? To
Yeah,
take
but
the
that's not
pressure-
causing.
No, I know.
So
but it
you're
takes the pressure
treating
off
the
situation.
symptom. You're not treating the problem.
Dude,
Okay.
if I go
So-
to the doctor and
Okay.
my arm is hanging off, okay?
Yes.
We'll
I-
cut it off.
Cut it off.
Easy.
So
I
your
would like someone
arm.
to-
So
We
okay,
need
your
to deal
arm
with the
hurts.
pain, okay?
Okay, so
Yeah, so
that is
what
you're
pain?
dealing with the symptom.
What
Yeah,
what
go on.
pain?
But okay, when the painkillers run out, have you still got a sore arm?
Yes, you're just covering it up.
Exactly,
Mm.
and that's what targeting immigration in this situation is doing. You're just dealing with the
You might
symptom.
like to say
Okay,
to him,
you
though,
say
why is it important
Yeah.
for you not to have pain? So then it becomes the why. Why is it so important
Yeah.
that is the case? So to cut a long story short,
Mm.
the what navigates very quickly through the problem. The why tackles what it is that is so important for you.
Okay.
And why that's so important. So the why question is hugely important. And once you discover, because the bigger the why, the easier the how. So if you can,
I don't know
yeah,
if I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
often the how is
the
very,
bigger
very
the
difficult.
bigger the why. If you've got a big why,
Yeah.
then
You've
the
got it
how.
That sounds so bad.
It's a lot of incentive.
We're not talking dirty jokes here.
No,
Travis.
hey, you said it, not me. I just took it the wrong
Oh,
way.
I didn't go that way until, but you know,
It's like a tennis match. I feel like I actually today rather I have decided to be far more quiet than I normally would and just let
Where was lies?
Yeah.
Where's
ping
of
pong.
lies?
You feel like the
Oh, yeah,
net.
look,
You feel
I
like
feel
the
like
net.
the net.
And Aaron, may I
Call it
ask?
net.
Annette.
Can I ask you what is so bad about that? I'm just joking. No.
Yeah.
There is
And
nothing
why
bad
don't
about
you
it.
like
It's
it,
actually
Aaron?
rather nice.
And
Yeah.
Aaron,
Yeah.
why don't you like it?
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Why are you
what
enjoying
is
being
it
the net?
that you
I'm
don't
enjoying
like?
The quiet.
Yeah.
And what about the quiet are you enjoying?
The fact that the pressure is not on me. I can just chill out. You
And-
guys can just.
and
So
why-
do you actually
why
have a
is
lot
it
of pressure
important?
usually?
Oh, so much pressure.
So
And
you feel
Aaron,
pressure.
And why
That's
is it you
interesting.
don't enjoy the pressure? Why is it you don't like the pressure?
I do.
Because
No,
diamonds
see, you're
come from
asking-
pressure.
I love it.
Okay.
And
so
whose pressure?
can we move on to the next part? So, okay, you've proven a point. Why is important? What is equally as important? What with the problem and why? And you know, it was fabulous watching the light bulb moments. You know, the light bulb moments, and I had nothing to do with it. Just like this, it was like it's the biggest way to provoke, as demonstrated. You know, conversation
Damn
with people.
Americans.
You go why and what, and you can see what happens, and away goes the show, and it goes off on its own way. But one of the biggest things always in life, guys, it's a bit like, you know, I walked
Do we
in
have a
here
feather
today
duster?
to Edge Radio Australia, and it was hot. It was hot. Oh, that was dust.
Oh, no,
So
that's why we need a feather duster.
It was wasp. Now Travis is going on his OCD. So what about it is so bad? So, you know,
It gets shit done.
The biggest important part about Edge,
Mhm.
like everything that's happening now, is the intention. And so from the point of view of when we were in Bali, one of the things for their transformation is what is the intention? So making an intention. So if you say, okay, by 5 o'clock this afternoon, I am going to release that pain, or I'm going to let myself be with this feeling and put a timer. But my intention is, okay, have your little show, have your little way,
Mm.
and then come this time, that's when I'm going to make a change. So what we did, one of the first things, because what do you do when you're in Bali? You have a massage. And so we had the most, we visited so many iconic places. And one of the things we said is, do you know when people are feeling great, when people are relaxed, when people are happy, nothing is being anchored into the body because they're relaxed. And yet when people get a fright, when people get stressed, when people get upset, what happens is you tighten up. So what happens is all of that's been anchored into the body. So what we do is we set up those anchors. So we say, okay, what is it that you want to feel by the end of the day? Or what is it that you want to feel going forward, you know, with Edge Radio? You know, I want to feel this great sense of, let's just say, can I do a practice on you perhaps?
Go, knock yourself.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so I want you to imagine for a moment, you too, mister, I want you to both imagine for a moment that Edge Radio has been absolute complete. Everything is set up. So all the walls are intact. You've got people coming in and out, having a great time. You've got radio shows. Yeah, I know it's all happening anyway, right? We don't need walls. There's no need for any of that perfection. But let's just say everything's done. Everything's done. Okay, now answer this question. This is the question, and you can say that thought in a second. What is that going to feel like?
Okay, you answer first.
No, breathe, Aaron, breathe.
Okay. Do you know what it'll be for me when all of that's finished? It'll actually be the feeling of two great things. Okay, several things actually. Okay, there will be relief, there will be gratitude, and there'll be the pleasure in knowing it's been achieved.
Okay, so relief.
That just shows the difference in our personalities.
Yep.
Thank God.
And
there's
relax.
differences in our personalities.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So what are yours? Go.
Next.
Hey?
You're next. Yeah, your turn.
Next.
What's it going to be
No,
like?
literally next. So once all that's done, I'll go to the next project.
Okay, so you are a project person.
I just keep
you
going
are.
Okay, I stumble from one project to the next.
Yeah, you're in your sweet spot at the moment.
You are a project. That's
I know.
Yeah, you are a project.
As long as you've known me.
About transformation. Yeah. Okay.
As long as you've known me, have I ever done one job, one task, one project,
at any one time?
No, you come in like a cyclone, tear everything up, throw it in the air, make a complete mess, and somehow kind of slap it back together, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
But see, that's how you thrive. So in other words, that's where you need to be. So for as long as there are projects, you probably don't want it to end.
No. Well, what happens is I plan 3 or 4 projects in the future. So once all the walls and everything here are finished and all the floors are done and everything's sorted and it's up and running, I'm off to Panama.
Yep.
So then from after that, we're off to Japan. And then obviously we'll be coming back to Australia doing a few other things. Go help with Nan and stuff like that.
So you love projects.
So we already have the projects in the pipeline. So,
and how does that feel?
I don't know. It's just.
So how does it feel to be in the midst? Because you are in your sweet spot. I did notice that. I mean, you're here. You're doing all the stuff with Aaron.
He's a different man.
You are, but he's in his element. So you're doing projects. What does that feel like?
I have to compare pre-motorbike accident to now.
Yeah.
Did the camera cut out? No, it was good. So pre-motorbike accident, it was always like stress, what's happening next? Because like, you know, you had bills to pay, you had mortgages to pay, you had all these problems and all these distractions.
Yep.
The motorbike crash pretty much put everything on hold. Like, because, so people who don't know, I hit the back of a ute doing 110 kilometers an hour. So I was in a wheelchair for 9 months. I degloved both my hands, my forearms, my foot was backwards, and my kneecap was on the back of my leg, and I butterflied my pelvis. So they weren't sure. Apparently, Channel 7 reported me dead. So I know work was told I was dead. So yeah, they even started hiring people when I rocked up.
Yeah,
so
that's an important lesson though. Like you're so replaceable.
Well, I think lesson is the word what Aaron just said, right?
Yeah.
So there's for every single thing that happens to us, even something so tragic such as that, there is a higher purpose.
Yeah. So what happened at that point? Luana and I had to make a very, very rapid decision because we weren't sure if I could actually walk again after the accident. We had to make a decision. Do we keep trying to do what we're doing, or do we downgrade and reset absolutely everything?
Yep.
So we made a very, very rapid decision. We got out of Willetton, we moved to Langford. So that's going from like a really nice, affluent area to like scumdog sort of.
Wow.
Like,
that's quite a way.
so we went from like the rent in that area was like 600 and 650 at the time. Remember, the crash was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
To 180 a week.
Okay.
So that like gives you an idea of how quickly we moved places and everything like that. So
you've got to be able to adapt.
Well, you had to. And my stance was, well, I can't earn more money, so I've got to save money. So a dollar saved is a dollar earned. So that's what we did. So from that point, because we scrapped everything, we had no distractions at that time, then we could actually start planning based on what we had rather than trying to play catch up all the time. So from there, we've just carried that through for everything we do. So every time we purchased a house, we renovated a house, we sold the house, we went overseas and all that sort of stuff, we already had the foundations ready to go. So when you're saying like, oh, how do you feel once the edges set and all that sort of stuff? And Aaron's like, oh, relief, I finally made it. Because we don't have all those other cling on things, that distractions that are happening. So for us, we can just jump from one project to the next because we know we've already done the groundwork.
But see, you are a project man. He's a radio man. So for you,
it's just
Aaron's an entertainer. So he's an, that's just a
I still think I'm more entertaining than he is.
Like, that accident you had though, Travis, you are just on the comedy side of things, you are very entertaining. But
evidence is on video.
Can I just
Yeah,
I haven't.
I swear this isn't vodka.
I feel like it though, sitting here with you two. But I just want to say something, sitting here with obviously talking about transformation, that whole thing that happened to you, and thank you for sharing that. And I had heard dribs and drabs of it. There is a massive lesson. And see, people go through tragedies in their life, and quite often they don't get up so well as you have and get healed and get on with it. A lot of people will go from one problem to the next.
I have a theory about that too.
Yeah, but the theory that I have is that you'll keep on not exactly the same situation, but you'll keep meeting with your challenges in life, whether it be through emotional pain, physical pain, whatever it is, until you learn some kind of life's lesson. So if you were to go back to where that accident happened on the bike, and you could actually almost do a sliding door, go back, look down at it and go, oh, that's going to happen to me. But before you go into that, go, what is the benefit here? Because, I mean, there's a miracle right there. But there was probably something you did at some kind of a high intelligence level where you were able to release it and let it go and kind of pick yourself up. But there would have been a purpose for it.
I want to know what your smirk was about.
Okay, come on, Aaron, out with it.
No, I'm the next. Call me next.
Okay, Annette.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think a lot of it is because I'm clinical ADHD all the way through. So most of us have the ability to just take emotions out of all decision making. So I know, and I watch, and I don't want to use names on this one. There's a certain family member who's married to a certain person. Don't get me wrong, she's a great person.
Yep.
I think she hangs on to a lot of the problems that she has as a safety blanket.
Absolutely.
So they're like, I can't do this because of this reason, where with people in my situation, especially ADHD people, they go, well, if I can't do it this way, I'll just find another way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I'll reboot.
And a lot of the time to find that way,
is our makeup.
You've got to turn everything upside down on its head and then go, okay, so that can go with that, that can go with that, and then here's a path through.
Yeah. And you can obviously you can hear like what Travis is saying here, but it is true. So what I just want to grab one thing you said because it's very relevant to neuro-linguistic programming, and that is that people quite often subconsciously hold on to their problems and they don't want to let them go.
Make their problems their identity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that person I was
Yeah.
talking about, absolutely,
Yeah.
it's her
Yeah,
identity.
because
can't stand it.
but it becomes your identity.
Hmm.
But we are not our problems. And I'm so glad you said that, because
I have my
one
moments.
one of the biggest things that we did as a trio in Bali was we looked at identity.
Right.
So we were looking at identity and going, you know, the fact that I've been playing that game or having those terrible relationships or going through all of these things is not me.
Mm.
It's a part of my life that I've had to come through. And what we do is we look at it as the superhero.
Mm.
So, you know, for people who have gone through so much tragedy and, you know, just despair and have had the worst lives, they can, you know, through this kind of thing, what if we said there is no superhero that can be a superhero amongst rainbows and butterflies? If you have not gone through the fire,
Mm-hmm.
if you have not gone through the accidents, if you've not gone through the pain, then, you know, where's your strength? You know,
Adversity is a
it's
great thing.
adversity
love-
is your strength.
I love the saying that a flower grown in a greenhouse will never be as beautiful as one grown in the wild.
Exactly.
And they're not as strong as,
100%.
and they're not as sturdy as well, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently.
So true.
But
And
one
I
thing
mean,
I
you've
do
been
want to
through
do,
the
so
fire,
I'm
you've been
jumping
through
on the
the
radio
accident.
bandwagon
If you
now.
could.
So we do have people watching online, and I have seen a couple of reactions coming through and all that sort of stuff. So I want to thank everyone who is watching online. What I'd love
we
to
do
see,
apologise in advance.
just for Terri, I would like people to, you don't have to give names or details and all that sort of stuff. I'd love to know what's a trauma that they had and how they were able to let it go, to move
Okay.
on.
I
That is
Hmm.
a great question.
So, and if you do it, watch it
firstly,
on YouTube, on
yes.
the Edge Radio
Edge
Australia
Radio.
YouTube channel.
Yep.
All the comments will actually come through to us.
That's right.
Apparently
that's
that-
the most reliable place.
Yeah.
To let you get to.
Edge
Yeah.
Radio Facebook, they
Mm.
generally come through.
Yep.
Personal pages are a little bit less common.
Yeah.
And if anyone's watching this on Terri Messenger, what's your business page?
Well, just Terri Messenger or Terri
Beautiful.
Messenger Transformation Queen, but that is the cricket
I would
show.
love to see in the comment section where you're watching this from and where you're hearing
Yeah.
from, because I want to see
Yeah.
which pages are actually showing up.
And I
on
love
the
your
social media side
question.
of things.
And to take it back,
It's
we've
all
all
that
had trauma.
professionalism.
I'm
Yeah,
blown away.
that was
Yeah.
that was just like I don't
It's just
I don't know.
you.
You know,
what
and
that was.
you're saying you're the professional here. You didn't do it. Like,
I didn't do it.
Oh,
I don't know.
So we
lazy.
haven't given him a chance,
lazy.
the poor bugger. He's sitting in between you two neurodivergent people and feeling like a net.
If I'm the normal one, the room is it's a problem.
And the bit I'm scared about, like, we
Yeah.
got the dude with one of the killers, like, best beards I've seen in a very,
I
very long
know,
time.
We should bring
Like,
him on
it's
the
gorgeous.
show. Maybe I can have him as a client.
I'm
But-
going to add him in the background there. Okay, it's my mate Landy. I've known him for
G'day,
Oh,
Oh,
Landy,
is he the
hi.
ute guy?
quarter of a century.
Yeah.
He has got a ute.
Yeah.
No, wrong ute. But everyone's
Okay.
got a ute except for me
Yeah.
these days.
Well, I don't. I sold mine.
There you go.
Well, actually, I gave it to my brother, but that's another story.
Thank
I missed my highlights. It was gorgeous.
Landy,
it was
you can
beautiful.
come onto the couch if you like and take over from these two. But, you know, I just want to say, coming back to your question that you just asked our people out there watching,
Ooh.
and, you know, the beauty of it is that when we were doing trauma, come on, what are you laughing at?
Come on.
So,
Okay,
so
Alan.
David, trauma, meeting Aaron. And then we got
Meeting
some people
Aaron.
coming from Dawesville down to Mandurah as well. So, yeah,
Okay, I would have thought it was. I think they just said he's.
he hasn't met
saying
me
that.
yet, so it's
And
pretty
so
cool.
he hasn't met Travis.
So I'm the cure to the
Yeah.
trauma.
So look, I
Or
mean,
whiskey.
that is definitely just the humour and the comedy is enough to release a person from their trauma. So when a person has a trauma, quite often they don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And what I would like to say is that this is where it becomes so safe and so incredible, where you just need to acknowledge what that trauma is. And when you acknowledge it, it's like we've all had it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 3 of us there. So we were able to take that trauma, and because it is stuck in our body, because the body doesn't lie, so it's kind of, that's why we can walk into a place. This is what we're talking about, spatially being triggered in an environment, and suddenly get reminded and have a memory that comes back to us. So what happens here is we address the trauma and we actually cleaned up so much trauma. But in order to do it, it's almost like a scientific recipe. So you've got to be able to, and this is where the facilitation, see, I don't cure anyone. If anything, the person's body and what we have as our God consciousness heals itself. So the recipe is, if a person is traumatized or they're suffering from, you know, obviously emotional things that are going on in their life, it's like, what will combat that? So this is where it becomes like a scientific recipe. So, well, if I felt more calmer, if I was more at peace, if I had security, if I
was
felt
6 foot tall, and
if I felt more loved, if I felt more valuable, right? So what we do is, like what we talked about, your motorbike accident, we will go back to before the fire. And we will talk.
Before the fire.
I know. You notice that I'm making it relevant for Aaron too, because he's acting as the net here, so I want to include him. So we're going back to before the fire, and we're going, right, just by the way, there's going to be a fire. Okay, it's about to happen. I want to warn you. I want to show you the movie. I want to show you the movie of this motorbike accident. So you get the younger version of you gets the opportunity to see on the big screen what's going to happen. And it's going to go, well, rather you going into autopilot, you're going to have some resources. Not that it's going to change anything, because it can't. It's impossible to change what's already happened. But the whole point is for it to change the future. So you've heard me pun with this one before. We go back to the past to change the future.
Well, on that front, you brought up.
All right, Marty.
You bring up if I only had a DeLorean with some 1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
Stuff to find, though.
Gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
Right,
that's
from
the one.
Seats over Come there, and join us on the couch.
He just doesn't want
He must be a Sparky.
It's not a Sparky.
A beard like that, he'd have to be.
Oh, no.
Well, this is going to make for good radio. I'm not sure about the live stream, but it's going to make for
What I was going to
radio.
say is this. You mentioned the fire. I'm just going on the fire very quickly, because I don't want to mull over that for the rest of my life. But you know what? Like, that was an incredibly horrible thing that changed my life forever.
Gee, I wonder how.
Yeah, I wonder
Sarcasm, by the way.
Yes, I know. But guess what? Like, because of other really horrible things that have happened to me in the past.
You're sitting on the couch here with us.
Yes, which is a lovely thing. But no. Because of that, because I was kind of warned by the fact that horrible things have happened, the fire was not that big a deal. I got past it. I mean, they've still got problems with it, but you get past it very, very quickly. So you adapt and kind of with the right mindset.
You strengthen. You strengthen as a result.
Mindset, I could have absolutely shattered me. It could have been the thing that pushed life over the edge.
Yeah.
And you go, no, I'm all right. I've got a clip to deal with.
Can I just share, because I'm sure we're coming to the end now. But I don't know, you can guide us, Aaron. But we visited a place called Lee Cabron.
Okay.
And this was at the top of Uluwatu in Bali, Indonesia. And it was sensational. Look, it was very hoity-toity, like all the trendsetters, all the influencers were there with their cameras.
I'd like to say toffee-nosed twats. But
there was this massive sunset. But we were there for every good reason. Okay. And we got faced with, I told you about the little terrorism thing that happened at the end of that. So, we're being tested so that we can combat a lot of stuff that's going on. But it was iconical what was there, the sunset. And before we were there was 2 things that I set up. So number 1, girls now, not you girls, the ladies in Bali, sorry, gentlemen, I said to them, okay, what is it that you truly desire that you're going to want to feel, whether it's empowerment, it's joy, it's security, it's love. It's like, okay, that's the recipe. Guess what? Here's the intention. You're going to go and have a massage at this beautiful spa, and every time they rub their hands into your back, that's going to anchor in love, empowerment, joy, peace, understanding, all of the things. So that's the intention that's actually set up. Then we go to El Cabron. When we get there and the sun goes down, and the most ironic thing, I've never seen this happen with the sun before, and I've done a lot of sunset immersions, your problems are going to go down with it. That's it. And I've had men fully grown like you guys. Sorry, Travis, but maybe not quite. But anyway, and
it's funny because I tower over you.
They've said, I was joking. It was just a pun. But they've said, oh, my God, I can't believe it. When that sunset goes down today, those problems that I enlisted, that I wrote down, is going to go forever. Oh, my God, do I really want to do this? You'd be surprised. But what happened was, because it's almost like we were touching the sun goes down and then it comes back up again. And then it goes down and then it comes back up again. And I've never seen that actually happen. Usually it just goes down, down, then disappears.
Did you have mushrooms before that?
Yeah, it might have been. It might have had something to do with it. No mushrooms, promise.
I was thinking tsunami, but yeah.
Yeah, just we were on a high. So the whole you don't get high in Bali, except for maybe
Shisha.
a little bit of rack attacks or whatever. Just joking. Not joking. Rack attacks do exist in the alcoholic setting, but
damn alcoholics
just
in this room.
without the cocktails, when that sun went down, when that sun set, there was those two ladies. If you saw the pictures, everything just changed. And then from there on in, that's when we faced other things. So my thing would be set intentions, guys.
Yes.
Understand that your negative parts are not your identity.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so many of us do that.
Yeah.
We attach our negativity to the things that have happened, and you become that way.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
We are completely out of time.
I thought as much.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Would you like to press the stoppy button?
See,
there?
I wonder who uses their problems as an identity. And
99.9% of us in some shape, way, or form.
Thank you for your comment.
Heather said that's amazing. And in the eternal words of, who's that singer that says that's amazing?
I don't know, mate. I'm going to say
Aussie dude.
I don't care. What we're going to do here?
Amazing.
He's putting the radio star on the.
Oh,
he's putting you on the spot here.
Yeah,
you need to know who the singer is, who the artist is, and
Alex Lloyd. Alex Lloyd.
We're going to
In
play
the eternal words of
song's
Alex
coming up on
Lloyd,
the radio.
that's amazing. That's a wrap, and I'm going to hang up because Aaron doesn't know how to do it.
Before you do, hit that button. Just remember, hit the old like button, subscribe, all that sort of thing.
That's showing your age. Is you follow on Twitter?
Oh dear.
Did you say? Did you like the way I showed my age there?
You said
X.
Twitter. It's
He's throwing you off.
And bombshells. And the Genius Zone here on Edge Radio Australia.
See you all.